You've been in this situation plenty of times. You're dating 2, 3, sometimes 4 guys. There's that one guy who really likes you. But for whatever reason, your number one guy never makes you his number one. Why? Because you're constantly talking about the other guys you were dating because you thought that that would turn him on. You thought talking about Pete and Mark and this guy and that guy wants to do this and this guy wants to, you thought that that would make him chase you. Well, I'll show him that I have options and that will turn up the urgency. No, that does literally the opposite. Because as a man, we understand you as women have options. But if you don't tell us that you're all in, we're not going all in. I'm not going all in on a bitch who's not all in on me.
Always hesitant. I mean, she never really actually told me how she felt.
There you go, man. There you go, guys. The reason why Shane picked Natalie is because Natalie went all in. She told him straight up, if it's not you, it's not going to be anybody. You're my guy. She straight up told him, you're the one I choose. Shayna never did that. Shayna was always like, well, I'm talking to this guy and that guy because she didn't want to risk going all in. Guys, I'm here to tell you, man. I'm here to tell you. If a woman likes you enough, she will risk it all. She'll risk it all. Natalie endured humiliation, not knowing she probably had a sleepless night, but she ended up telling Shane, hey, you know what? You fucked up, but you want to know something, man? You want to know something? You're it. You're the guy. I want to be with you. Shayna never told him that. Shayna never told Shane. He was like, listen, she never told me. What's up? Ladies, if you're watching this, if you gotta, listen, dude, you gotta tell these dudes how you feel, man. Dating does not work the same for us, okay? Dating between men and women is not the same. Women are turned on by non-committal men because non-committal men have options. Options are attractive to other women. Women don't want men other women don't want. But ladies, when you're out here talking about, well, I'm talking to this guy and that guy, and never go all in with him. You have to let him chase you. You have to let him see that you have options. We know you guys have options. We don't need you to tell us you have options because we already know you do. So when you meet this great guy, you guys are dating casually for 6 months, but he never really takes things to the next level. You always say, well, Shane ended up picking Natalie. Why did he pick Natalie and not me? Because you didn't fucking tell him how you felt. You didn't say, hey, I like you and I want to be with you. Dude, there are so many women out here who could be in great relationships. They could be in fantastic relationships, even, God forbid, marriages. But the one thing that stood in their way is they just weren't honest. Women see emotional vulnerability as unattractive. No, that's unattractive to you guys. Emotional vulnerability, that is a turn on for men because we see that you are risking something. Natalie sat in front of Shane and cried, hey man, you called me Shayna's name and this and that. I had a sleepless night, but if it ain't you, it's not going to be anybody. Shane made up his mind. He made up his mind. What did Shayna do? Playing games. It was all flirty. Oh, I'm wearing a crop top and this and that and this and that and the third, and I'm with this guy and that guy, blah, 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 blah. This is why Shane is picking Natalie over Shayna. Because Natalie told Shane how she felt. Shayna, just like most modern women, they just want to play the game. They think that the same rules that apply to men apply to women, and they don't. Somebody said in the chat, this is female dating strategy run amok. Female dating strategy doesn't work for anybody. It doesn't work for men or women. Make him chase you. Make him have to earn you. No. No. Ladies, if you like a guy, tell him. And if you tell a guy that you like him, if you tell a guy, hey, you know what, I like you, and he gets freaked out, guess what? This means one of two things. Either A, he doesn't like you as much as you thought he did, or B, he's not looking for a relationship, at which point you should leave. That's what you should. Well, what if I tell him I like him and he ends up freaking out? That means he either does not like you or he's not looking for a relationship. And ladies, you're not trying to be in a relationship with a man who doesn't want to be in a relationship, right? You don't want to add more bodies. You want to catch 1 million bodies, do you? No, of course not. So you move on. Women use the excuse, well, I don't want to show weakness. No. You have to beat the man to the emotional vulnerability punch. Ladies, you like men who are invulnerable. We as men, we like women who are emotionally vulnerable. Tell us about your hopes and dreams. Tell us about your fears. Tell us how you feel. If you like, dude, ladies, if you haven't heard anything I've said, you need to listen to me right now. Because I know a lot of you ladies out here, you guys are probably dating one, maybe two or three guys. There's one guy in your rotation that you really like. There's one guy in your rotation that you really like. You could see yourself in a long-term relationship with him. You might even see yourself marrying him. There's that one guy. You're fucking 2-3 guys, but there's the one guy you would give anything to be with. But that one guy is not going to pick you. You've been in this situation plenty of times. You're dating 2, 3, sometimes 4 guys. There's that one guy who really likes you. But for whatever reason, your number one guy never makes you his number one. Why? Because you're constantly talking about the other guys you were dating because you thought that would turn him on. You thought talking about Pete and Mark and this guy and that guy wants to do this and this guy wants to. You thought that would make him chase you. Well, I'll show him that I have options and that will turn up the urgency. No, that does literally the opposite. Because as a man, we understand you as women have options. But if you don't tell us that you're all in, we're not going all in. I'm not going all in on a bitch who's not all in on me. And guess what? We have the leverage. You got to tell us you're going all in first, and then we get to make the decision. But that's not fair. Maybe not, but that's the way it is. Why? Because there are more of you than there are of us. There are more women than men on Earth. There are even more women. Most women are chasing the top 10, 15% of guys. So now you shrink it down even more. There are so many more women there are probably 100 to 200 times more women like you than there are the men that you want. But we're supposed to chase you guys? You're gonna keep playing these little mind games, making us chase you? No, no. To a man with options, that shit doesn't work. That does not work. I had my choice between 3 women. It was Devin, Chrissy, and Denara. Denara ran the same game. Denara was great. She had a fantastic Denara's ass was even better than Devin's. But Denara was always talking about the other guys that she was fucking with. But she really wanted me. She never told me straight, you know what, Donovan? Or you know what, Alex? I'm all in with you. Let's fucking do this. Never did. Never did. Chrissy was hot, but she was fucking neurotic. She was neurotic, and she was literally good for nothing but something to look at. Now, Chrissy told me she loved me and she wanted to have my kids, but she didn't offer me anything. Devin, on the other hand, from the start, Alex, I'm all in. She told me, I don't care how long it takes. I will do whatever it takes. And she did that and more. That's why she's with me now. That's why she's with me now, because she made no bones about how she felt. My intentions, Alex, are to be your girlfriend. I like you. There's nobody else. I'm focusing on you. Well, shit. Well, now that I know where she stands, now I can act accordingly. Yeah, but what if he doesn't choose you? That's the risk you take. If he is worth it to you. See, a lot of women don't want to tell men how they feel because a lot of y'all know that y'all ain't shit. A lot of y'all know, well, if I tell Mark how I really feel, he's going to reject me because Mark doesn't like you that much. You know that you don't deserve Mark. You deep down, you know that Mark is just using you for sex. You know that you know that you have no chance with Mark. You're hoping that giving Mark the really, really good sex is going to eventually cause him to come around. That's not going to happen. Because Mark can get sex from anyone he wants. What can you offer him that the other bitches don't? Here's one actually telling him that you like him. Ladies, stop playing these fucking mind games. Stop playing these mind games. Shayna is now about to get rejected by Shane because she quite simply did not tell him how she felt. Shane, I like you. I want to go all in with you. Natalie did the opposite. She said, look, if it ain't you, it's not going to be anybody. If it's not you, it's not going to be anybody. Ladies, if you like a guy you're dating, tell him and show him. Playing all these mind games and letting him know you have options and letting him chase you, that shit don't work. It never, ever works.